What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're opening a Metroplex deck. I know, right? I'm so excited. I mean, look how big Metroplex is. To put this in context, if I grab myself a little character card from over here, who have we got? We got Starscream Air Commander. That gives you a sense of scale of how big Metroplex actually is. It's a giant card. The only real bad thing about the Metroplex deck, I have to try and find a sleeve that will actually fit it, which is not going to be an easy thing to do. My father-in-law has very kindly offered to laminate it for me, but I don't really want to laminate it. Problem is, if I go and buy sleeves, I'm going to have to buy a pack of sleeves, and Metroplex is going to be the only character that actually fits into the sleeve. And then all the other sleeves are going to be gone. Having said that, it is the very first card we've ever had that has the designation of Titan. So I'm assuming we'll get more Titans in the future. I mean, Metroplex as a character is very, very interesting. In bot mode, 35 health is ridiculous. 21 is the next highest we've got. And it's got a ridiculous skill. When you attack and you flip 2 of each icon, you tap all of your opponent's characters and do 1 damage to each of them. That's very good. Difficult to pull off, you're going to have to work for it, but good nonetheless. But on the other side of it, we find this really crazy ruling whereby 3 other cards start underneath it. That being Scamper, 6-Gun and Slammer. And essentially when you flip to alt mode, you get to deploy one of them from under Metroplex. I know, right? So you need to kind of be flipping it back and forth constantly to try and deploy them all from under Metroplex. Very exciting. Now, one of the main reasons I think you need to get the Metroplex deck is for these boys. These are exclusive character cards that can only be gained in the Metroplex deck. Metroplex, right? Either you're going to play it or you're not. If you are going to play it, you need it. If you're not going to play it, you don't need it. But these are different. One of the most interesting ones is Scamper. And the best thing about Scamper, it's a 4-cost car. Now, I've done a video about why having a 4-cost car is amazing. I'll pop a link in the description. But what's ridiculous about this is you can now play 4 wide cars. It used to be impossible to put 4 cars into a deck while staying under your 25-star limit. But with Scamper, you now can. How cool is that? Now, I mean, it's a 4-cost, right? So the skills are very bad. Well, sorry, the stats are very bad. Although, don't sleep on free attack for a 4-cost card. But it helps Metroplex. So in bot mode here, when I flip to this mode, and I've got Metroplex on the battlefield, I scrap an enemy armor or weapon. In alt mode, Metroplex has bold 1. If we look at Slammer, it's a 4-cost tank, which could come in handy in the future. It's not so relevant as a 4-cost car, but you never know if it will be in the future. And again, free armor on a 4-cost character is quite nice. Now, it has, when I deploy it from under Metroplex, I do 1 damage to each enemy. So even if it doesn't last very long, I'm still doing a bunch of damage. But also here, Metroplex has bold 1. Combined with Scamper, we're up to bold 2. There is no back. It is the very first ever Transformers card, and according to an interview with Drew Nolosco on a recent podcast, they're not planning on doing any other single-sided cards anytime soon. So it's a bit of an oddity and a rarity in that respect. It's really good with Metroplex, but it's a 4-cost tank. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, 6-Gun is the least useful of all of them. It's still a 4-cost, which is nice. But the problem with 6-Gun is that it's not anything else. It's not a tank, it's not a car, it's just a 4-cost character. Now, to be fair, 4 attack is quite nice. But that's about it. 6-Gun, to my mind, is the least useful of all of them because you cannot chuck it into a themed deck. Now, when I flip to this mode, Metroplex gets bold 2 for a turn. Add to the others, you've now got bold 4. Let's move Slammer over a little bit, get him properly in the shot. And then, when you're in ult mode and Metroplex attacks, you do 1 damage to the defender. So all of these have got really nice skills for Metroplex. But only really for Metroplex. Oh, you get some extra damage counters. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. That's a nice little surprise. That's really quite cool. Oh, I'm a fan of that, ladies and gentlemen. That's quite nice. So, look, all of these character cards are great for Metroplex. Outside of Metroplex, they're not amazing. But having a 4-cost car and a 4-cost tank, I mean, outside of this deck, the cheapest characters are 5 costs. So purely having a 4-cost tank and a 4-cost car is in and of itself pretty awesome. Ha! Right. Oh, and you get a little rule sheet in it as well. Check that out. It's a cute little rule sheet. Ah, that's quite cool. Nice to get a little extra bonus prizes you weren't expecting. So, hey, that seems like a weird place to put that. So, we have some exclusive cards in this deck. First one of which is Protected by Metroplex. Essentially, it's an upgrade, you put it on a character and then the damage goes to Metroplex. These 3 have very low health, Metroplex has very high health. So you get to redirect the damage over. We have Height Advantage. One of your Titans gets bold 4. Now, this is the other reason I think you need the Metroplex deck. As it stands at the moment, Height Advantage is a card you can only get in the Metroplex deck. And Metroplex is the only Titan. Does anyone actually believe there is not going to be another Titan released? Because I don't. So yeah, this is the only Titan support we have at the moment, but it's still pretty nice. And the other exclusive one is Rally the City. It's got a white icon, which is quite nice. And if you've got Metroplex on the battlefield, you draw a card for each character on the battlefield, each of yours. So if you've got the whole gang out, you're drawing 4 cards. It's quite nice draw. Rally the City and Protected by Metroplex are very much for Metroplex. Height Advantage is for any Titan. We then have 3 copies of Armor Plating, which gives you +1 armor. 3 copies of Backup Plan, scrap your hand and draw 3 cards. And the white icon is nice. I did do this in an earlier video, but you basically have, I think, what is it? 16 orange icons, 16 blue, and 15 white. They're set out quite nicely. Now, the only actual rare you get here is Combat Training. It's the only rare in this deck. And what it does is, if you've got a weapon attached, it gives you bold... It's a utility, sorry, upgrade. If you've got a weapon attached, you get bold 1. If you've got an armor attached, you get tough 1. So you get a couple copies of that. 2 copies of Data Pad. A common, and when you attack, you draw a card. And then you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. It fixes your top deck, and remember, you need to flip 1 of each icon. That can help you do so. 3 copies of Flamethrower, which gives you bold 2. You need to flip 2 of each icon. Having bold is good. That gives you bold 2. That gives you bold 1. That gives you bold 1. That gives you bold 1. Actually, that gives you bold 2, sorry. And where's the other one? That gives you bold 4. A lot of bold coming out here. We have 3 copies of Force Field. It's my favourite card in the game. White icon, and it guarantees you can only take 4 damage. 3 copies of Handheld Blaster. Now, Handheld Blaster isn't a great card per se. Gives you bold 1, it's fine. But the double blue is awesome. And similarly, Improvised Shield giving you tough 1 is not great. But the fact that you get the double orange icon is really good. I'm going to have to move these boys out of the way for a minute. They are in the way. I need a bit more mat space. 3 copies of Inspiring Leadership. Draw 3 cards, then scrap 2 from your hand. Nice draw power. 3 copies of Rapid Conversion. That's really good, because you need to keep flipping Metroplex back and forth in order to get these boys out from under it. So that's nice. And 3 copies of Supercharge, which gives you bold 3. You can see a theme here. You've got the double pips, and a lot of the other ones are... You're flipping and bold. Flipping and bold, flipping and bold. That's what Metroplex wants to do. I have gone on record as saying I like this. And look, if you want to play casually, get Metroplex. And actually, if you really want to play casually, you can buy the Metroplex deck and the starter deck and just play back and forth. I am hopefully over the next week or two going to get a game or two on the channel with my wife and I playing that exact matchup, because that seems like fun. And it's a very cheap way to play Transformers. And it's the only way to play Metroplex. But even if you don't want to play Metroplex, 4-cost car, 4-cost tank, and okay, these are exclusive cards, and these are irrelevant if you're not playing Metroplex, but if you ever have a Titan you want to play, height advantage is crucial. I like this. It's a constructed deck, which means you can play it straight out the box, but also it's introducing a new mechanic with Titans and deploying cards from under it, etc. But also it's giving you exclusive cards. It's giving you lots of good cards. Supercharge, great card. Force Field, great card. Double Pip, Data Pad I like a lot. Flamethrower's a really good card. So it gives you good cards, it's a deck to play straight out the box, and it gives you exclusive cards you can't get elsewhere. That's basically my checklist for having a theme deck. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm a fan of this. But I want to know if you're a fan of it. Are you going to be picking up the Metroplex deck like I'm picking up these cards? Or are you going to wait because you're not too enthralled? Let me know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where I ramble about stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.